Welcome to Masters on the Move. In today's episode, we're diving into a story of determination, friendship, and the power of community. Our guests are Ron Crowhurst and Steve Bradley, two walk runners from Whangārei who embody what it means to push beyond limits and lift others along the way. Ron's journey is one of transformation, from major weight loss to achieving outstanding marathon times, and now dedicating his energy to helping others through parkrun and Achilles New Zealand, where he serves as a walk and running guide. Steve is vision-impaired, but refuses to let that define or limit him. With grit, courage, and a love for the sport, he's achieved some incredible race times in his younger, better sight days, and now continues to inspire those around him with his perseverance. Together, they've tackled races, challenges, and most recently, a 31-kilometre walk in Rarotonga, showing what true teamwork and resilience look like, even when things don't go as planned. So lace up, get comfortable, and join us as we hear how running has connected two friends through trust, kindness, and courage, and how their partnership with Achilles New Zealand is making a difference one stride at a time. Ron and Steve, a warm welcome to the show.
Thanks, Justin, for having us.
Thank you.
Ron, you've had incredible personal journey of weight loss and transformation. Can you tell us a bit about that?
Yeah, well, I started running in around 1975, 80, and was got down to be like a bit of a Biafran. And then I changed jobs, and as all runners do, they eat. I stopped eating, and for nearly 10 years, I didn't run or do anything, and I got a bit overweight.
Mm-hmm.
And from then, one Jim Kettlewell got in touch with me, wanted to know if I'd be involved with setting up a parkrun. So I had to start getting fit again.
All right.
And that's how it started, a 2K walk.
Oh.
And gradually got down from, 110 down to about 89K.
Wow. Impressive weight loss journey.
Taken a while. Advised by my doctor that don't go on any silly diets or anything like that. Cut back.
Yes.
Everything in moderation.
And a lifestyle change. Bit of exercise and diet.
And diet, yeah.
Exactly. Steve, walking and running as a vision-impaired athlete comes with a unique challenge. How did you first discover running, and what drew you to the sport?
Well, I've always been a real sports person right back when I was a kid, and I actually started running before I went to school some mornings. So always run, and then I joined, when I came back up from Auckland, joined the Whangārei Harriers and just got right into it more and more, got into half marathons and marathons, just loved it, kept going, and unfortunately as a vision deteriorated, the running wasn't quite the best of options. So I sort of came back to walking with my guide dog most of the time. And then I got in with a lady who was trying to restart Achilles in Whangārei. So I got introduced to Ron. And while that wasn't totally successful back then, it's just gone ahead since. And fortunately I've had Ron as a guide for the last 2 or 3 years in particular, and we've done some good things. Yeah, I've just loved it, getting back into it again. Once a runner, always a runner. I think it's hard to give it away once you've been doing it. So
Absolutely. So the two of you met through Achilles?
Yeah, well, we used to run, I think, against each other without knowing each other.
Right.
From Rarotonga Harriers and the Whangārei Harriers. We used to run together, and I hadn't seen Steve for a while, and I saw him walking up. Yeah, I think he must have been going to the gym, Kensington gym, and I walked up. He didn't have a guide dog then, he had a stick, and he was walking up by Kensington. Didn't see him for a while, and then Rachel, who was trying to get Achilles started up here, brought him along to parkrun.
Right.
Rachel And I know this guy. And Rachel trained me up to be a guide. And that's how it started.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I knew Ron back in the earliest days with Burkak. I knew of him as he had a pretty big reputation as a pretty solid runner back then.
Yes.
So it was, you know, we did talk on the odd occasion. I can remember a couple of times, but certainly not anything like we do nowadays.
Yes. Ron, you've done some outstanding marathon times in your earlier years. A PB of 250. Can you share those race experience and what stands out most vividly for you?
I was thinking about that, and the one that came to mind was my first one, which I trained myself out of a book, Runner's World book.
Oh, yes.
And you picked the time that you wanted to run the marathon in,
Okay.
and then you followed the program.
Yes.
And I chose 3:30. I don't know why. And I ended up running, it was the Auckland Pastor Marathon in Auckland, which started at Hillsborough
Okay.
and I think it ended up down at the ferry buildings down in Auckland. It was all over all Auckland. It was brilliant. But my standout one that I really enjoyed the most was my first time I ran around Rarotonga.
Okay.
And I managed to do that in just under 4 minute Ks. So
Wow.
2 hours and 2 minutes, I think it was. So I didn't know. I think I came seventh, but that was the one that I trained for.
Yes.
I had a coach. I was training twice a day. Just about killed me when I came back, though. My body just gave in, got shingles and all that sort of stuff. But I had that run. I still remember parts of that run. And that was many, many years ago. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's incredible to run that distance at that speed and maintain it for that distance.
Yeah. And that's what we did. We were told if we wanted to run under 3 hours,
Yes.
we had to be able to run 4 minute Ks.
Yes.
Yeah. So that was what our training was around.
That's fantastic. Well done. Steve, you've also clocked some impressive race times as well. What does it feel like to be able to accomplish those and push the limits and what keeps you motivated and keeps you going?
I think any runner runs against himself. It's all about times. You always want to do better than what you did last time. I mean, I've done about 8 or 10 marathons. I've had a 3:20, which is an okay time, but I didn't do where I fell down. I think was I didn't do the training under a guide or anything like that. But yeah, you just keep coming back. I did Rotorua, as I say, for probably 10 years in a row. But you just go back and have another go every year. It's just what you do. I love the halves. I love the half marathons. They're good. You know, you got to put the work in to get a good time.
Yes.
But, you know, it doesn't knock you around quite so much. But you just keep coming back to running. As I said, once a runner, always a runner. I think, you know, I've only given it away really because of my eyesight and the interim. And, yeah, so you just, yeah. I just think keeping mobile and moving is what you've got to do in this life.
Yes.
The minute you sit down and become a bit sedentary, you're running into problems. So,
yeah. You've spoken a little bit there about your eyesight. Do you want to share a little bit more about that? How's that progressed?
well, I was diagnosed with glaucoma when I was about 16, 17. And I was told at that particular time that I was nearly blind, but I didn't perceive that because I was still playing sport at a reasonable level. And yeah, I mean, nobody really gave me a lot of background to what might happen.
Yes.
My understanding was I would probably stay fairly static, but glaucoma is a disease that sort of just chews away your eyesight over a period of time. I mean, I was lucky. I've had operations and I managed to keep in line with it and keep doing things, but sport got to a point where I had to give it away.
Right.
So I went into, I've always been a runner, as I said at the start.
Yes.
So I just got more and more into that. And, you know, that still presented as as difficulties.
Yes.
Some of the people I ran with sort of got the message and you're running in a backcountry road and there's a car coming there letting you know
Oh,
sort of thing beforehand and those things. So, I mean, yeah, it's been bloody difficult and bloody frustrating, excuse
yeah.
the language, but that's the only way I can emphasise it. But yeah, if you give up, your history sort of thing. I did just refuse to give up. Had to temper some things, obviously. But now I've been given almost a second chance in the last 3 or 4 years to do a bit of competition, running and walking, and yeah, I've got a real kick out of it. I've loved it, absolutely loved it.
That's fantastic. What are the biggest challenges that you two have had to face as a team, and how have you overcome them?
Yeah, we overcome them. We talk about it. I think it's the first one was getting used to guiding Steve. Yeah, we had the first time we had a bungee, a stretchy bungee, and I kept stretching it. I was always going ahead, pulling Steve to go faster, but that wasn't the point. So I made up another one, and we change it all the time, and it was just getting to know how Steve reacts to my actions.
Okay.
Like I'm his eyes,
Yes.
and he's my ears. He's got better hearing than me. We've both got hearing aids, but he can hear better than me. It starts just by when we started off on a walk.
Yes.
The first thing is say, "What's the sight like this morning, Steve?" Sometimes he says, "Hey, ratchet." Other times I can see shadows.
Yes.
And the thing is, I just say, "Can you see the edge of the path?" If you can see the edge of the path, that's a lot better for me.
Yes.
Because I know that he can sort of see it. And it's just a difference between the light and the dark.
Yeah.
And then the rest of it is just getting used to my hand movements on with the tether.
Right.
And if we want to turn left, sometimes I'll just nudge his arm, just say left, and I'll just nudge his arm or something like that. But it's just getting used to each other.
Yeah.
I know sometimes Steve, he always tends to veer to the left. I guess that's his sight. So I'm always sort of pulling him to the right and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
And he can see, he can, I don't know whether he can see them, but he can sense people in front of him.
Right.
I think it just comes like a shadow, Steve. That's something.
You just can't judge the distance.
He just can't judge the difference between someone in front of him.
Yes.
So I have to be able to keep him, just say to him all the time, we're clear in front, or we're coming up, we're going to pass somebody, speed up, and we're going to turn to the right, speed up, and that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
And I think the best compliment that I've ever had from Steve
Yes.
was we were walking on Riverside Road.
Yes.
On the nice wide path, and he just said to me, "It just feels like I'm out here walking by myself."
Wow.
And there was no tension on the tether.
Yeah.
It was a little bit wider one than longer one that we use now. But to me, that was a compliment.
Yes, absolutely.
He felt confident.
Yes.
Yeah. And we've had a few, the bridges on Riverside Drive, they're our obstacles. We've tried several things, several ways of getting across them at a reasonable pace, because we're normally walking at a good pace. Come to the bridge, we always slow down. So we've tried different things, trial and error, and we've got down to a pretty good system now. But it's, as Steve says, why is one side white and the other side grey? If both sides were white, you'd be fine.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's good.
So it's just getting to know each other's movements and gestures. It's not only about the verbal communication, but how you pull on that tether.
And where we are, like on the loop. When we're walking around the Waka there, I just say to him, we're walking around big curve.
Oh, okay.
And the tether is always tight.
Yeah.
Because we're always turning right or we're turning left. So the tether is always tight there.
Yes.
And just a nudge on his elbow or something like that, just keep a bit more left, it's all right, a bit more right. It's just the confidence, and Steve has to trust me. you know.
Yeah.
It's
And I believe part of your training as a guide is that you have to be led around blindfolded.
yeah,
So you get to kind of experience that. So
yeah.
you,
All the when we train the guide, new guides coming up, that's the first thing we do. We say, all right, it might only be for 150, 200 metres, or we'll walk right around the loop, just so that know what it feels like.
yes.
And Steve, he said, when was it? Wednesday night. We were walking around the loop, and he says, I think I'm going to be blindfolded one night, so I really can't see. So that'll be a good test. And see how confident it is, because I know I can tense if we're going somewhere new.
Yes.
I can feel on the tether and all that sort of stuff that he's a bit tentative around it. So
Yes.
it's just a little bit more talking then.
Yes.
Yeah, and just saying where we are.
Yeah.
Because he's walks around Whangārei,
Yes.
and he just likes to know where he is.
Yeah, exactly.
I can tell you one little story.
Yeah.
We were driving. We were going down for a walk, and we were going to park it by the Fringe Bar. So I'm driving the car. While I'm there, keep on driving again. Steve says, "Where are we going?" I said, "Why?" He said, "Well, we've gone past where we normally turn off."
What?
And that was in the car.
Yeah.
I said, "Oh, no, we're going down to the parkrun start tonight." But we were meant to go there. But he knows where he is. He can sense where he is. He knows.
Yeah.
Just like how many steps across when we get to the centre line from Fring's Bar when we're leaving.
Right.
He knows how many steps if he can see the white line in the centre, how many steps to the curb.
That's
He's got an incredible memory for numbers and places.
right.
Really
and I
has.
suppose that develops as you need to have access to that, Steve. Is that right?
Yeah, you do. I mean, and the whole exercise has been probably obviously the most interesting I've had in my life, because I mean, when we first started guiding, I was pretty tentative, because you're just scared you're going to ankle tap someone.
Right.
As Ron said, I tend to veer to the left, and that's part of the reason why, is because you have a fear that you're going to get too close and get all tangled up.
Yeah.
But we've pretty well past that now. I mean, you still got to be careful. You still got to be thinking. But as Ron said, the contact is probably 80 or 90% through the tether now.
Yeah.
We can walk a couple of Ks or not.
That's the tether we use. That's the shorter one.
Right.
For parkrun, it was about 500 long.
Okay.
But we found with parkrun, it's shorter one. We're not so far apart, and we're not taking up so much room on the path.
Right.
And it's amazing how things change, because when we went to the short one, I thought, I don't know if I love this.
Yeah.
Now I didn't tell Ron that, but now you've just got used to it, and that's the whole thing. Anything like this, it's practice.
Yes.
And I mean, as I said, we can walk a couple of Ks and not say anything sometimes. Probably even more at times, And the thing I've said to Ron early on in the piece and the other guides, too much information is not too much. Like, if you think it's a potential risk as a guide, then tell me.
Yeah.
And if I don't need to know, then nothing lost. And if I do, well, and it's become quite telepathic in a lot of ways. And we've never, touch wood, we've never had a fall.
Oh.
And I've only had two, and both of those were just circumstances. Nobody's fault. Nobody did it.
Yes, they were. We have to blame some people.
These guys call it blood points. So, and it's just, it just gives you a sense of freedom again, which as a blind person is quite hard to come by. And Ron said, I mean that when I walked along and said, hey, I can be just striding almost to get Ron there, sort of thing.
Yeah.
If I can just see a little bit, I'd never go out on my own and do that. But that's the sense you get. So that's obviously credit to Ron's ability and patience for that matter. It's been a massive experience the last 2 or 3 or 4 years.
That's fabulous. It's so good to hear that you can sense how each other's thinking, and based on that, you know what to do, and you know what's coming. It's fabulous. You mentioned parkrun there a little bit, Ron. Ron, you're deeply involved with parkrun in Whangārei. You're also a co-run director. What does parkrun mean to you, and what impact have you seen it have on the community?
Well, for me, first it was impact was getting fit, getting back into running, and then it was times. But it's not times anymore.
No.
Well, it is times in a way, but it's age grade percentage for me personally. You know, that's what I go for, is my age grade percentage.
Yes.
But also the community that is. I've got more friends now from parkrun than I have from my previous running. I've only see about, if they're not a parkrun, I only see about one that I used to run with before. All the others, they've either come back to parkrun or not. But it's just a community. People, I love to see people come back. There's one lady I always remember. She came and she had a pair of slacks on and that, and no, we won't see her again. But she keeps coming back, and now she wears tights and all that sort of stuff. And they meet people there, and they have cups of coffee. It's just the well-being of people. You know, the community aspect of it. It's brilliant.
Yeah.
And if I've always wondered how parkrun eventually, how it came apart, and some of the reasons why parkrun does things. And I read a book from Paul Hilton, the guy that started it, bought. I've just finished, but I actually read it twice now. And it was just how he was brought up in South Africa. And he had a very hard life bringing up. And that's why it's open to everybody. Because he saw how things were exclusive and all that. So that's why it is. And people have said to me, like, why don't they have a better timing thing, with a chip or something? His attitude to that is, no, I never want to go there, because that takes 3 or 4 or 5 people out of volunteering. And it's just the whole community.
Yes.
That's what it means. That's what it is to me. People out there, like Colin. He said, I'm taking too long. I said, hey, it doesn't matter. You're finishing, you're out here doing it.
Yeah.
That's what it's about. Just not so much about the guys that are winning, but it's the people in the middle and at the back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's quite often those people that have the most inspiring stories and that have overcome the biggest challenges to actually be there.
That's correct. Yeah. No, so it is. It's just the whole community thing. It's brilliant.
Well, there's definitely something to it, because it's not only New Zealand, but it's a worldwide phenomenon.
Yeah.
And I think the big thing that also makes it that is, of course, that it's free.
Yeah. I keep telling people it's the only thing you get for free in New Zealand.
Yeah, absolutely. I have to, at this point, Ron, share with you a little bit of my experience of parkrun, because that's where I met you, and that's where it came into my life and gave me a bit of guidance and coaching. You pointed out to me one day that perhaps I was running incorrectly, and that was hurting with my arthritis. And you gave me a book to read, and that changed my life, because I learned how to run, change my form, and it's made a world of difference to me. And then you guided me through a bit of interval training, and I saw my times come down, and you got me right up to just on the 20-minute mark. I let you down because I didn't listen properly on the day that I was supposed to try to get under 20. It wasn't your fault. It was my fault. You told me to, and I didn't listen. I went out too hard. But, and I know that this experience that I've had of you helping me at parkrun is not only me that's had that experience. I know that you've influenced a lot of other people and you've helped a lot of other people. So on behalf of the whole community at parkrun, I'd like to thank you, because it's really it's an inspiration to see, but it's just nice to be on that receiving side as well.
Yeah, I just see it as my time to give back.
Mm.
And there's some says, "Oh, you're coach." I said, "No, I'm not a coach.
Mm.
I don't coach. I say, this is what works for me.
Yes.
Try it. It may not work."
Yeah.
You know, there's so much out there now on social media and all that, all different training programs and all that. I mean,
Yep.
You
get overwhelmed.
You just got to try what it is. Try what works for you.
That's right.
Yeah. No, that's good.
Oh, fabulous. Let's talk a bit about Achilles New Zealand plays such a powerful role in connecting guides with athletes. How has being part of Achilles New Zealand shaped your running and your journey together?
Well, it's obviously given me the avenue to get back into a more, as we've said, community-inspired running, more involved with groups. You know, all I used to do was just go for a walk.
Right.
Now you're back into where I was with Harriers 25 years ago. And you're in with a group of people. As Ron said, you gain a lot of friends in running.
Yes.
There are very, I'm not sure what the word is, but yeah, runners are runners. And Achilles has given me that opportunity. It's I wasn't actually aware of it until around about that time. I'd heard of it, but I hadn't. As far as I knew, it wasn't in Whangārei.
Right.
But ironically, one of my friends had been one of the co-founders for it in New Zealand. But yeah, it just gets you involved. I mean, I was first. Well, no, Tyler was there actually, but I don't think he was part of Achilles.
He hadn't joined Achilles then.
But now we've got myself, Tyler, got another guy that comes along every now and again, and Ron's told me that there's a little girl, 8-year-old, who's completely blind, who I'd love to see.
Yes.
You know, if we can develop her into it as well, to get her involved in that sort of thing, because being blind can be a bit of a shut off. It's quite hard to get out and meet people.
Oh, yes, absolutely.
That and hearing are probably the hardest disabilities, I would say. But yeah, I mean, it's not limited to visually impaired people. It's every disability, which is another really good thing about it. So yeah, it gives you, that opportunity to get in. If you're lucky, and I've been very lucky with the guides, because I've got the volunteers that look after me. I mean, I've got 7 or 8 now.
Yes.
And they're just fabulous. And they've all done as Ron did, put the blindfold on. That's very unnerving to do that just off the cuff and then just completely put your trust in someone else.
Yeah.
So it engenders a lot of that support, people coming out and supporting other people. And yeah, it's big. It's pretty big. And I think if we're lucky, we can really promote it some more in Whangārei, as part of parkrun, but also as a separate entity sort of thing.
Yes.
You've got to communicate. We've got to get more communication out for it. We had a meeting a few months ago, but it hasn't sort of quite progressed as much as we would have liked it to at this stage.
Yeah.
So, but you know, it's a fabulous thing. I mean, I know some athletes that have done some amazing things through Achilles. Achilles has been the thing that's allowed it to happen. So, I mean, pretty well for every disabled athlete, you've got a guide or a support person. So,
right.
And the rate of disabilities is probably 1 in 4 in this country.
Yeah.
So
that is quite high. Yeah, great work that Achilles does.
Yeah, they do. For some of their major events, they do help the guides get to events with a bit of sponsorship, with accommodation, or maybe some support towards airfares and accommodation and that sort of stuff.
Yes.
They have 2 or 3 events through the year. Like there's Wellington, Auckland, some of the big events, and they actually have, I think they actually have free entry
Okay.
for guides.
Right.
Yeah.
Fabulous. Okay. If you can hear some movement on the recording, we have Archie and Buddy here with us. Archie is Steve's guide dog, and Buddy's my mate. Recently, you both took part in the 31-kilometre in Rarotonga. I know there were some challenges. Let's talk about that. How did that all happen? What made you decide to do it, and how did it go?
Oh, we got an email from Achilles New Zealand saying that they do an annual yearly trip to New York Marathon.
Okay.
And Steve said, "Oh, what do you think? What do you think?" And it was a pretty short time frame, and the expense was about just up front was about $8,000 for 7 days.
Wow. Yeah.
2 of those days you're in the air.
Mm.
Then you've got other expenses on top of that, short time frame to train. And initially I said yes, and then I said, no, I don't think I can commit to doing, for walking a marathon, we'd be looking at about 6 hours, 6.5, 7 hours. So we'd be having to do 6-hour walks, and I just couldn't really commit to the time. So we put that on hold, and a couple of weeks later I said, "Oh, Steve, what do you reckon about Rarotonga? It's 31K. He says, "Oh, yeah, that sounds like a go." So we did some work. We booked some accommodation and some airfares, and then Steve had to get his British passport renewed, and that was another little story on its own. Um, and then we started training, and like the good old days, we sat down and we didn't write anything down, but I had a calendar on my phone, and we set out what we were going to do. We were going to do a hard week, easy week, right? And we said, we picked the time. Well, we started off 5.5 hours, and that's what we thought we could do it in. And then we started our training, and we'd come down after our long walks. We'd sit down and have a cup of tea, make a cup of tea, and get his famous biscuit tin out. He loves his biscuits.
Oh, right.
Loves his biscuits. And we started looking at our times, and this time, we could get down to about 5.25. It got down to 5.5, 5, and then we thought, well, on a good day, we could most probably really, maybe 5 hours, maybe a little bit under. And then we started our training, and we set it out. It was more or less like marathon training.
Right.
And then Steve, at the finish, not before we finished, before we went, he said, "I think this is the best I've ever trained for any event." I don't think
Nice.
you really had a structured program before, had you? So we had sort of nothing written down, but it was in our heads and it was on a calendar, and we were training 4 days a week?
Yep.
4 days a week.
That's what we did on our own. So.
Yeah, 4 or 5 days a week we're doing. And
Wow.
we got up to doing 2 4.5-hour walks. That was our goal, get up to do 2 4.5-hour walks.
Yes.
And first one we did 28 minutes, 28K.
Oh, yeah.
And 27K and a bit in the second one. So
Right.
we knew we could do 31K.
Yes.
And we were happy with that.
Yeah.
And we did it. It might find funny we called it our speed work.
Yes.
And we did 5K time trials.
Right.
We'd go for about a K and a bit warm up. And then I had my watch set at times. What do you want to do? What do you want to do tonight, then, Steve? And I had it set up on my watch. And we always set it I always set it a little bit slower.
Mm-hmm.
But we walked and we did some for walking, we did some incredible times for 5K, and we actually did one 10K. So the speed, it seems funny talking now, saying, "Hey, you did speed walking, you're walking, speed training, speed." But
Speed training, yeah.
you did speed training. We did it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we did our long, slow walks, and middle of the week ones were a little bit faster, and so it was. We just did a structured program.
Fabulous.
Yeah. Unfortunately, it worked for me, but not for Steve.
Yes,
Hey,
Steve.
Steve, eh?
I know, Steve, you had a disappointment there because you had to withdraw because you had some dizzy spells and your back was also giving you issues. How did that make you feel, and how are you feeling about it now?
You can swear, Steve.
Have you got a thing on there that goes bleep, bleep? I was gutted, obviously gutted. I mean, I was working it out yesterday. We did, between us together, we probably had upwards of 1,200 Ks.
Wow.
And plus what we did on our own. So you're talking 1,500 Ks since about March.
Yeah.
Through to the event. So
Yes.
that's about 240, 250 hours
Yes.
you're on your feet. So, and as Ron said, it was the most structured event I've ever trained for, most structured training. And the speed, some people might laugh at speed training for walking, but I tell you what, it bloody worked. Because we were doing, on occasions 8-minute Ks, which, not just for a K, but for 4 or 5 Ks.
That's a very brisk walk, that.
And, I loved it. I so enjoyed the training we did. And as Ron said, the closer we got to the event, the more I thought, well, I can do this. And then what happened, and there's just nothing you can do about it. It's the first time I've never finished an event, and I've felt bad on a couple of them in the past, but I won't say. I kept my cool. I kept my cool on the day.
Yeah.
I was absolutely gutted.
Yeah.
Because I'd had trouble with my back, and then we sort of got past that at the start. At one point, I wasn't even going to start it. And then we got to 3 or 4 Ks, and I thought, no, this is okay, we're going good. And that 3 or 4 Ks through to about 16, it was just walking the park, eh?
Yeah.
And then it turned to custard. And it just, I've got to go to the doctors and see if I can find out what it is. I don't think I will, but it was just gutting. And I mean, Ron went on and won it, which was absolutely fantastic. And the thing is, he would have probably been another 10 minutes quicker had it not been for my problems. So, dropped him with that, unfortunately. But that was always the deal. If I had to pull out, he was going to continue.
Right. Ron, how do you support somebody, your friend, who's had that experience and is gutted?
Gutted. Came back, and Martin Harrison given Jan some money to buy a bottle of bubbly, so we downed the bottle of bubbly, and then a couple of beers, and we've talked about it since. And it's happened to us twice. There's a second time it happened to us at Kerikeri as well, but not as bad. But all you got to support them, and let's get back out there and do it again. I think Steve's made a decision about Kerikeri. He wants to do Kerikeri again. I'm not too sure about it, but but we'll see. Most probably next week. Most probably entry will go in. We're just going to see if Martin said he's going to help us guide on at Kerikeri. So if he comes along, we might just get stuck in and do a bit more. But the next stage for Steve is a little bit of running.
Nice.
He wants to do, the plan was after Rarotonga was to walk Kerikeri.
Okay.
So we're going to see how we go. We might even do a little start on Sunday. I think we've got a plan on Sunday to do a little bit, see how it goes.
I seem to remember seeing you doing a bit of that.
Yeah, we've done a little bit. We started doing a little bit of running when we started training for Rarotonga. But we decided, no, we weren't going to. It was either a run or a walk. You can't. There's no
Right. There's
run
no
walk
category.
section and there. So we were just going to. So we just concentrated on the walking.
Yes.
Now I think it's just back into because
Yeah.
he has got a goal, long-term goal of running a 5K. I think he's got a time in mind.
35.
He wants to run 35 minutes for a 5K. But it most probably won't happen at parkrun because running is a little bit different, and parkrun course for a blind guy to guide is a little bit hard at parkrun. It's even hard guiding there.
Yeah.
So we'll most probably just do we've got a 5K course.
Yes.
And we'll do it on that. It's a goal.
Yeah, fabulous.
But there's also, we do the one up in Paihia, the 8K in Paihia. That's another event that last year we were going to run it, and we got to the start line, and there was a bit of a gap. We weren't going to run it until we got over the bridge.
Mm-hmm.
So the gun went. I said, "Come on, Steve, we're running now. Come on." So you just got to put them up. If I feel confident that we can do it, I've just got to say, Steve, hey, we're right. We can do this.
Yeah.
I've got to give him the confidence that we can do it.
That's right.
And he's got to have that in me.
Yes.
He's got to have the confidence in me and the trust.
Yeah.
And so that we can do it. That's the main thing.
Yeah.
I mean, we started the running back for that. We specifically did a bit of running with that in mind. I didn't, as Ron said, it wasn't my intention to run it. Over half of it in the end. And I mean, it took 10 minutes of our last year's time. So, yeah, I mean, I do like a challenge.
Right.
I've always liked a challenge, and I'll always give it a go.
Yeah.
And obviously, being visually impaired, there's some things you just can't do.
Yeah.
So, yeah, but I'd rather try and fail.
Yes.
Or try.
Oh, yeah.
Try not fail, but say, okay, we can't do this.
Yeah.
So, so yeah, so I'm going to get a treadmill and I'll do a bit of jogging.
Nice.
All we've got to do is get Steve to lift his feet a little bit more, Steve?
Yeah.
Yeah. Don't want to trip and fall.
I take very shallow strides, and that's a tenderness that comes with your sort of feeling your way out as well.
Yes.
I mean, there's lots of little idiosyncrasies you do as a blind person, as Ron said. Certain places I have to go in town, I've got a marker, and I know how many steps it is from A to B on that point.
Yeah.
The dog's very good and that sort of thing, but I mean, yeah, it's a bit off subject, but it's just what I'm trying to highlight is how much you have to adapt.
Yes.
But there's ways you can adapt, sort of thing. So just got to experiment, give it a go, and go from there.
Yeah. Oh, well done. You've both done so well. Both of you embody courage and resilience. What advice would you give to someone who feels like the odds are stacked against them, whether in running or in life?
Give it a go. I mean, that's been my motto. I've had ups and downs as I've lost my eyesight. It's hard to work out what's the easiest. Lose it quickly and get it over and done with, or deal with it changing every day. I've had depressions. I've curled up in a corner at home once or twice and said, yes, that's all I'm not really interested anymore. But then you get up and get on with it, and that's it. And you'll always find people there to support you if you reach out a bit. But yeah, my attitude is get out, give it a go. You can do it. I don't agree with the philosophy that anybody with a disability can do anything, because there are things you can't do depending on what your disability is. But you can find an alternative or something that is running close to parallel with that, what you want to do. Sort out what you want to do, think about what you want to do, and give it a go. And if you don't give it a go, you won't know. But if you give it a go, at least you've got an answer. And as I said, there's variations on the theme. You might not be able to do it this way, but you can do it this way. And don't set your goals too high. But definitely get out there, give it a go. There's apparently a young girl that might be coming to parkrun who's visually impaired. I'd love to personally. I might be jumping the gun here, but I'd like to do a bit of mentoring with her, and just help her through. I mean, I wasn't blind at 8 years old, so I can't even imagine what that's like.
Yes.
So yeah, no, give it a go. Get up, give it a go.
Yep. And Ron, what would you say to people that are perhaps watching this or listening to this and thinking, gosh, I'd like to give, how does somebody get started as a guide and where do they get involved?
Reach out to us. Come down to parkrun. Look out for the Achilles shirt. Ask for Ron. Ask for Steve. And one thing I could just say to people, listen to, if you go up to Steve, just say, "Hi, Steve. It's George here."
Right.
That's all you need to do is say the name. Because Steve has to listen to where the voice is coming from. But if he knows there's a name behind the voice, you say that a couple of times and he will remember that voice.
Yes.
Just reach out. If you want to, come to parkrun and look for an Achilles shirt. It's not there every Sunday, but just ask someone and they'll put you there. And give it a go. If you want to be a guide or if you know someone that would like to come down, or anybody, if you're pushed in a wheelchair, come down. We'll find it. We'll hopefully find Achilles or find a guide for you.
Yeah.
Or someone to push around in a wheelchair.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just keeping people out there.
Right.
Just keeping them active and meeting people.
That's so good.
Yeah.
One of the barriers that some people have, Ron's just raised up there, is they don't know how to deal with people with disabilities. So they tend to shy away a little bit. And like Ron just said, come and talk to me, touch my shoulder, say who you are, and then your conversation can start. So when you're sitting in a group of people and you're not sure whether the conversation's to you or not, I mean, the best example I've had of people being aware of interactions with a visually impaired person is a young 14-year-old boy. It's actually Maria's son. And he came up, he just touched me on the shoulder. He said, "Oh, it's
Harry.
I'm sorry.
Harry.
And said, "How you going? Hi, Steve, how you going?" Immediately I knew he was talking to me.
Yeah.
So, and that's a reciprocal of people who sometimes won't get out into the community and join up.
Right.
I mean, I'm not being critical of the people in the Harriers or anything like that, but and Ronald backed me up here. I think there's some people had a bit of adjustment to getting used to a blind person sitting in and then around their table. It was, I mean, what I can do depends on what other people are prepared to do.
That's right.
And if you get that barrier early on in the piece, it can be a bit of a turn off. So, and it's not, I'm not being disrespectful to those people, but it's an awareness thing from both sides.
Yes.
Well,
it's so good to hear that because I think a lot of people are uncomfortable because they don't know what to do. And so therefore they do nothing, which is often the wrong thing.
Because Steve, he's got a good sense of humour.
Yeah.
And he could tell you some stories of some good runs that we don't do anymore.
Yes.
We've spoken about that. We talk about the runs we used to do and all that. They don't do them anymore. Road management and all that sort of stuff. It's killed a lot of the runs. But he could tell you some really good runs out in Rarotonga. Some brilliant runs.
Yeah.
I mean, it's really funny, Justin, because as a blind person, I love telling the stories. Like, once I start, it's but so many of them are so funny.
Yes.
And I can see the funny side of most things. And I think most people with a disability do have a slightly warped sense of humour, like I can see something bloody funny. And yeah, it's just getting into that kind. I mean, my hearing's not 100%, so in a crowded environment, it's difficult and I do tend to withdraw. But that's, that's me. That's not the other people. So, yeah, it's just about, people interact. I mean, the difference with how people treat and greet me now to 2.5 years ago is completely different, And I don't know whether it's wise to put this in there, but it's just trying to make people aware. I'm on a mission about making people aware of disabilities,
Right.
right across everything I do.
Mm.
I mean, I've just had a crack with one of the banks, so they've now come back to me and said, "Oh, we'd like to have a chat with you."
Oh, good.
So yeah.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
there's
well-
been a number of those situations. And just to finish off, don't ever ask a blind man for his driver's license.
Just let him drive by.
It's happened. It didn't work, so they asked me for a gun license.
It actually happens. It happens.
So we've spoken a little bit about what's next for you. You're talking about doing some running. Is there anything else in particular that you've got lined up? You're talking about the Keri and possibly doing a bit of running on there?
Yeah. I think it's going to be a go. Yeah. But just, it's like it's happened twice now to Steve, and roughly, it doesn't happen in our training. Yeah, we did 28K.
Yeah.
And it didn't happen.
Right.
And we're roughly the same pace. I just wanted to have it checked out. It most probably won't happen again. Let's touch wood. But yeah, it's, for that, I think we really should have had 2 people guiding at round Raro. It's more as a safety thing, as Steve.
Yeah, I mean,
Especially on Raro, it was open roads. And we were luckily there. We had one local lady, she was in the run, and we caught up to her, and she was walking. And she realised Steve was blind, so she was walking outside of Steve again on the road and waving the traffic down.
Oh.
So, they were real friendly people. It was a good event, but it was done on open roads.
Yes. That adds just a whole new level and layer to the whole thing.
Yeah.
I mean, what's got to be highlighted here is the concentration levels of a guide. I mean, he or she has to obviously worry about themselves, but then you're looking for something that might be an issue in the case of visually impaired disabilities. And that's, to do that for 2 or 3 or 4 hours is pretty hard.
Yes.
I mean, and in the training we did around Whangārei, the services have been largely pretty good.
Yes.
But Rarotonga was a little bit different. But we never had any trouble. I mean, I wasn't stumbling and, that sort of thing. But, I mean, I'd just like to acknowledge the level of concentration that a guide and possibly a lower level, any support person has to put into.
Yeah.
You've got somebody else's total responsibility.
Yes.
For that person. I mean, it's a big call. It's a big responsibility.
Yeah, absolutely.
But you get compliments. I got a compliment one day, and he said,
Not me.
Yes, you did. You got a compliment. You gave me a compliment one day, and he said, yeah, you're just about as good as Archie. And I said, oh, is that right? I said, I think I'm better than Archie. You don't have to pick up my shirt. We have a lot of fun. We have a lot of
sounds
fun.
like it.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's very inspiring to see, and I hope that it encourages others to do the same. I really do. Looking back on both of your journeys, what are you most proud of? Let's start with you, Ron.
My journeys, from go to woe to now. I think the best is how parkrun and guiding Steve.
Wow.
That have been my 2. How parkrun's progressed from 60 to 70 people on a Saturday morning, now up to over 300. We never had that in Harrier events and Whangārei, just club events. Never had it. And people getting out there walking.
Yes.
I think, I enjoyed my running career, but I put it all down. I had some good times, but still, and I still cast myself as an average club runner. And even in those days, run 4-minute Ks.
Yeah.
I was just an average club runner.
the fact that I was a runner when I was 15, and with a little bit of luck, I might become a runner at 70 again.
You will, mate. You will.
And like I've always been, as I said right at the start, a massive sports active. I like to be active. I like to be fit. The reason I like to be fit is because I can essentially eat and drink. Yeah, within reason. I enjoy my wine. I love my wine.
Yeah.
And some other things in that. And yeah, I just want to keep going. I mean, I've had the curtains open again in the last 2 or 3 years and been able to do some things that I didn't ever think I'd be able to do again.
Yes.
So I mean that's pretty big.
Yes.
I've always, once I decided, right, walking's got to stop for safety reasons on my own, running, sorry, on my own. Well, I'm going to have to start walking, and then there's a story behind getting a guide dog, which I'd love to tell some people sometime, but I won't do it on here. And the dog's allowed me to do that through that interim period, the last 10, 15, 20 years that I stopped running. So, I just want to keep going. If I drop dead from a heart attack out for a run or a walk, I'll be quite happy.
No,
Not for the next few years.
when you get back from a run. When you get back from a run, you can have your heart attack. You don't have a heart attack on the run.
No, not while Ron's going. He doesn't want that responsibility.
You'd have that when you're having a cup of tea and biscuits afterwards.
Cut that out of it. But I mean, what I'm saying is that's something I love doing.
Yeah.
And I just say, I want to keep doing it. That's it. So,
fabulous.
Fortunately, if I'm lucky with the guides that I've got, that's going to happen. And I mean, they're equally inspirational too, and taking on what they're taking, as you just said, the responsibility that they take on by doing that. It's not just, I'll guide you where you want to go, because there's a lot more to it than that. Way, way more to it than that. So,
because sometimes the guide takes you somewhere where you don't want to go, eh?
Yeah. And the other thing is, you can't really upset the guide. Way and leave you when you're standing.
Yeah, make sure you get home first, and then you can upset him.
What you've been told to do. So, yeah. But no, it's been a fantastic experience, and I want it to continue.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure it will. And you both, you've got so much both to be proud of. So congratulations. You're doing great, and you're a great inspiration to us all. Is there anything else that you'd like to add?
No, I did let Ron down on Rarotonga, I feel, but apart from that, no, it's been a good exercise, Justin, actually.
More great.
Thank you.
Yeah, been good.
Oh, fabulous. Well, what an incredible conversation with Ron Crowhurst and Steve Bradley, two men who remind us that running is about far more than just crossing the finish line. It's about showing up, giving back, and believing in each other. From Ron's inspiring transformation and dedication to guiding, to Steve's unstoppable determination and positive spirit, their story captures the best of what running community stands for. If you'd like to learn more and get involved, check out Achilles New Zealand, or as Ron said, at Parkrun, go up to them, have a chat. Thank you for tuning in, and remember, it's not always about how fast you go, but how much heart you bring to the journey. Until next time, keep moving, keep believing, and keep inspiring.